It takes a virus to kill a virus. Vaccines are dead viruses, or live, weakened versions of them, altered to trigger the immune system against the virus itself. Against killer viruses, the immune system is our only natural defense, and a neglected one, says Mark LePay.
We should be spending a lot more time looking at the immune system and trying to get back into sync in an evolutionary sense with these organisms, using the natural defenses the body has and using them to subdue the virus.
To disarm a killer virus takes trial and error and enormous patience. The genetic research done by the CDC aims at speeding up the process by decoding the anatomy of the virus. Only by unlocking these secrets can scientists hope to create vaccines for known viruses, or brace themselves for the onslaught of some new killer before it devastates the world. It's a race against time, and the pace is quickening.
We're detecting more viruses now than we did 20 years ago. Is this because we have a greater surveillance system, a greater detection system going on, that we're more sensitized to this? Or is it really because there are more diseases jumping that barrier from animals to man?
Unintentionally, we're getting back to nature. As we deplete the Earth's rainforests, we're forcing animals that once shunned us to share our world. They may bring unwelcome baggage, new and deadly viruses we would otherwise never encounter. The host passes the virus to us, and we pass it on to each other. If the virus were airborne, one of us could easily and unwittingly become infected. If it's fast-acting, he may write it off as a cold or flu. If slower acting, he'd show no symptoms at all. In either case, the virus would stow away in his body, infecting everyone he meets. Viruses were once confined to villages or thwarted by oceans, but air travel has made our world a global village.
Thank you very much.
As an infected tourist makes his way through the airport and onto his plane, he could be carrying a deadly souvenir to his friends back home.
There are viruses that exist out there that are evolving, and they're ready to snap. I mean, there are lots of humans out there that represent a tremendous food source for these viruses, and they're going to take advantage of it.
In the asphalt jungle we call the city, a virus can spread even faster. Like a rumor passed around at a party, it mutates in subtle ways until it becomes unrecognizable, but no less lethal. In 1989 in Reston, Virginia, monkeys housed at a primate quarantine unit began dying at an alarming rate. 400 within 2 weeks. To the scientists' horror, their blood tested positive for the deadly Ebola Zaire virus. Even worse, Ebola Reston was airborne. No humans died. By some miracle, the virus had mutated just enough that it was no longer fatal to man. Many experts believe that HIV, the virus that causes AIDS, came from African chimps and monkeys. It may have gone through a series of rapid mutations that enabled it to prey on people.
Certainly a mutation can happen, and a mutation could theoretically make a virus more lethal, more deadly. A person can be infected with the HIV virus, and 6 months later, when that virus is isolated from that person, it has many characteristics which are different. It has mutated slightly. So viruses do mutate in nature, and they mutate at very rapid rates.
In 1981, AIDS was reported in the United States. the first time it appeared in a first world country. Unlike Ebola, which kills within days of infection, HIV can stow away in the human body for 12 years or more without symptoms. During that time, an infected person could unwittingly spread the disease.
But the other medicines you're on, like...
As HIV spreads, it also has more chance to mutate, defying a cure.
I think like 2 milligrams of calcium.
Mutation is the first act in our nightmare scenario. Imagine a virus as fatal as HIV and as quiet, hiding undetected in the body for years. Add to it the sudden death of Ebola. Finally, make it easy to catch, and we'd have a time bomb on our hands. If this were to happen, would there be any hope for us? Mark Lepay isn't optimistic.
We have no genetic resistance to these infections, except as we improve our immune systems. And we're going the other way. Our environment is laced with chemicals that depress the immune system.
Dr. Heyman is more hopeful. Even in this nightmare scenario, he believes the perfect virus would prove imperfect.
Genetically, immune systems are different. Genetically, people handle viruses differently. Some people have an immune system which can get rid of the virus, some don't. But we're not at a stage yet when we can tell which persons will be susceptible and which persons will not be susceptible to an infection by a virus.
Even if some of us survived the first round of our nightmare virus, the fight might not be over. The virus could mutate again, attacking those immune to the original strain. For the survivors, the nightmare has just begun.